Cup history. A3 was faster, but every time Melges was within striking distance, Paul Kayard used his aggressive style to block A3's pass. The race came down to 3 seconds for an Il Moro victory. Kayard clearly thrived under pressure.
It was a great race. It's a historic race. It's a race of all time. And I think we could have some more of those this week, and we've had a lot of them this spring. You know, this spring has been good America's Cup racing, as far as I can tell.
And the tight racing continued in race 3 with post-quarters action during the pre-start. America Cube found more wind and stretched to a big lead. Bill Koch liked what he saw, and helmsman Buddy Melges hoped for even more wind and bigger waves.
I look for a couple more, 3-4 more really good races before any really set in stone, and we'd like to and get this thing sorted out.
In race 4, Melges got his wish. Il Moro came within 1 boat length of taking the lead, but again, A3 was simply too fast. But even on the run to the finish, Koch was anxious and worked hard to keep America's winningest sailor focused on steering.
Don't look back, buddy. And don't give me any that you're looking for bumps. I'm calling them for you.
Well, Buddy likes to look around and see where his opposition is. And anytime, and Buddy, I must admit, has taught me this lesson. Anytime you look around to see where your opposition is, unless you've got the skills of a Paul or a Dennis, you tend to lose your concentration.
Can I look around tomorrow? I'm looking for wind. He thinks I'm looking at Paul, but just because I happen to see Paul, I'm also seeing wind, and it makes me feel better.
So I wanted Buddy to keep focusing on boat speed and making the boat go fast and working his Zendanese magic.
Magic from Zenda, Wisconsin. Magic from Curtis, who brought in some crow's feathers for good racing luck. The breeze is up. The pre-start coming up. Get ready. This will be Smash Mouth Yachting. Race 5 live.
Comes to service and selection of Corvettes in Tampa Bay, Dimmitt Chevrolet Geo does it again with more choices, better value, and the area's #1 team of certified service experts. And right now, the Dimmitt Chevrolet Geo Luxury Lease makes it easier than ever for you to set sail in the luxury sports car America drives. Corvette. Come see our fleet. Dimmitt Chevrolet Geo just south of Countryside Mall, Clearwater.
The perils of Paul Kayard today. He is down 3 races to 1. America Cube faster on 7 of the 8 downwind legs, and America Cube faster on 8 of the 12 upwind legs. He has to win 3 races in a row. Otherwise, the America's Cup goes to that crew and that boat.
230. Square for...
So while Bill Koch and Paul Kayard and Buddy Melges get ready, let's check in out on the race course with Peter Eisler.
Jim, you know, it's interesting. A lot of people that don't know a lot about sailing are saying aggression is the key for Il Moro today. But this is a sailboat race, not a boxing match. And Paul Kayard knows what it's going to take. Sure, go at him hard in the pre-start, but don't make any stupid mistakes, and then apply the basics. Take the favored end at least, and try to get ahead at the first cross.
Peter, westerly winds today. The breeze blowing between 8 and 9 knots right now. Seas are coming in very lumpy. Your thoughts?
Interesting, Jim. Very similar to Thursday. The only difference between the 2 boats is Il Moro has a bigger mainsail up. The medium air carbon fiber sail today, but rough water certainly will favor America Cube.
And it was Dave Dellenbaugh who did such a magnificent job. If we were seeing a wrestling match the other day, it would have been called a reversal. That jibe escape. Meanwhile, Bill Koch, well, he's on the eve, perhaps, or the morning of fulfilling his dream, clinching the Cup.
If I were he, I'd be relatively careful at the start because I wouldn't want to foul because that would end it right there. And the next thing I would do is be very aggressive up the race course. He was very aggressive the first day, then after that he started going for straight lining. But today I'd change my strategy if I were he and be, as I said, very aggressive.
What do you think? Is that really what Bill Koch believes Paul Kayard could do, or is he trying to bait his Italian counterpart? The spectator fleet and a worldwide television audience awaits the start of race 5. Well, Gary Jobson, we called this the mating dance of the lead-bottom money gobblers, those old 12 meters. The pretzel-like gyrations were into the pre-start. The red-hulled boat belongs to the challenging boat, Omoro di Venezia, ITA 25. The white hull to the defending boat, America Cube. Bill Cope counting down 8.5 in the pre-start.
And right away, the two boats exchange. I think Omoro doing a good job right away getting on America Cube's stern. And America Cube's going to drag Kayard over into the spectator fleet.
It's not your fault. No, ho detto già stamattina che romperemo e... Yeah, let's go, guys.
Well, he said last night when I was talking to him that all of the pressure really is on the Cubans today.
Problem up the mast on America Cube. Jerry Kirby going up right now. It appears that they may have a small rip in the sail.
You cannot change a mainsail underway. It's just physically impossible to do, and they don't have a spare on the boat, so they'll have to live with it.
7:30, he's coming up on us. 7:20.
Jerry Kirby, the ex-hockey player, up there about 2/3 of the way up that 110-foot mast.
7.
The area where there's a rip is not.
Peter, does this affect their maneuverability in the pre-start?
Absolutely, Jim. They cannot turn without risking Jerry Kirby's life and limb until he comes back down the mast. Once Kirby applies the Band-Aid to the mainsail, then they can engage. And luckily for them, there's enough time that they can afford this pause in the action.
6:40.
Now there's an overlap between the boats. Fontini keeping his thumb down. Andre and Morani working the bow today on the start. Usually the mast man.
Guardate che non escono, Mora. Se non escono non è tanto male, eh? Ma come possiamo fare? In poppa o in bolino o cosa? Beh, dobbiamo farlo ora.
Peter, Kayard is trailing. He obviously Kirby's up the mast. He knows that Dave Dellenbaugh, who has the wheel in the pre-start, his maneuverability now at the 6-minute mark drastically reduced.
Incredible, Jim. A big advantage for Omoro right now. America Cube has to be very careful. No quick turns, so you've got a big... They're doing it exactly right, staying right.
Peter, the spectator fleet looks a lot further away from the starting line today.
And they've moved them away, Gary, but still, with this much breeze, they're only about 2 minutes straight line sailing for the line with 5:35 to go.
Well, Kirby's still up to the mast, and he switched to the other side just as the boat went through the wind on that tack to put a patch on the other side of the sail. He's halfway done with the job.
Gary, is this kind of like patching an inner tube?
It is, because if it keeps ripping, the whole race could be over. But I think he'll get it patched up in time. And so far, Kayard hasn't gotten to them.
I have an overlap.
5 minutes.
Right now, Kirby doesn't have enough tape, sticky tape, to actually patch the main, so he's got to wait for the boys downstairs, Rick Brenn, the boys, to pass him another patch.
pride up there. Notice that everybody in America Cube still concentrating on their jobs, not looking aloft at Kirby doing his.